up out there, YouTube? Double D here with Tournage du Bois. Welcome back. First of all, big shout out to Todd over at Duca Heritage. He sent me a sticker, but along with that sticker, he sent some of his new products that he's making. So he's doing some machine work, and so he has come up with some really helpful tools that I wanted to pass along to you, and you can definitely check it out on his website, www.ducaheritage.com. So he has machined these face plates. He has them for both the 1" by 8 TPI and the 1 1/4 by 8 TPI. But in addition, he has this little fun tool. So this is actually a centering tool. So if you have a piece and you have the center marked, to make sure that it stays centered as you're putting that face plate on, all you do is you just thread this piece on, and what happens is that that pointed tip there sticks through the bottom and will go right into that center point. So that will help hold your faceplate centered while you are mounting that faceplate to the piece. So if you need something like that, which I think all of us do, I know I sure did, so big thanks again, Todd, for sending this out to me. Definitely go check out his website, take a look at what he has, and see what can work for you. So definitely check him out. Now, the piece we're going to be working on today is this fun monstrosity. So this is actually a piece of walnut. Shocker, Double D likes walnut. But it has this interesting little piece right here. This is red cedar that grew through the piece. So these two pieces that I'm holding here are red cedar. The rest of this is walnut. Maybe a piece of red cedar back here, but we shall see once we get into it. I kind of want to see if I can do some sort of a hollow form or something. Not sure if I can or what'll work out of it, but let's give it a try and see what happens. I'll be trimming it up on the bandsaw first, just to get rid of some of this excess chunkage, and then we'll get to it. So let's roll. First of all, I want to apologize. For some reason at this point, my camera decided to switch into hyperlapse mode. So there's absolutely zero chance it was user error by me. Well, it probably was. Regardless, as you can see, I put a quick tenon on it. The piece was slipping with the drive spur that I was using, just not having a good place to grip being in the bark. So I wanted to get a tenon put on it and turned around, which automatically made that the base. So then it was a matter of getting it shaped the way I wanted to while keeping it as live edge as possible. I'm inspired a lot by Phil Anderson and the work that he does with keeping things as natural looking as possible while still making a beautiful piece of work from the piece. So a lot of effort was put into trying to determine what shape I wanted while keeping some of that, as much of the bark and live edge as I could, and keeping that transition part there with the red cedar showing through the walnut. This walnut's not quite as dark as what I'm normally used to seeing and working with, but getting it just kind of shaped out the way I want it to, keeping that the look with the hollow form that I was going for, and keeping that authenticity of all the parts of the wood for that unique look. So started getting it hollowed out with a 2-inch Forstner bit, and then we will get to hollowing with our carbide tools. So hope you enjoy the rest of this video project. All right, so I have that partly hollowed out. I'm gonna keep working on it here in a little bit, but I want to get some sanding sealer on the outside and some CA glue, because this limb of Red Cedar came out. That way I can glue that back in without that CA glue staining up that wood. So we want to get that done. I've got a couple other pieces on the side here that could do that. Well, actually, yeah. A couple others. So get this sanding sealed, and then we will get this CA glue in. I'll probably use thin to start and then use a black as an outline. Bring the camera around here. So we've got this other one right here as well, and this one. So we have those three I'm wanting to get taken care of. Make sure that they don't pop out or have any issues there, and we will get this finished up. So be right back with the sanding sealer going on. Going to use our Mylan sanding sealer, and this lip might end up coming off. I haven't decided yet. We will see how I can end up getting it finished and sanded before we decide how that's going to go from there. Thought about doing this before I started hollowing out, and then thought it might hold together. Obviously, it doesn't want to, so that's okay. We will work through it. I'm actually really excited with how this is turning out right now. I've never ever seen another piece turned that has multiple types of wood in the exact same turning that wasn't a man-made project. So if you know of anything, please definitely share it in the comments down below. But I have not seen anything like that. Doing this sanding sealer on this will also allow me to get some glue around these edges where the bark is, just to give that a little bit of extra strength. Try and help keep that from coming off. All right, we'll let that dry and we'll be back. All right, we are back. It's had a good time to dry, so now we're going to use our thin, go around the knot holes, get the edge of the bark, and then we're going to use our black CA glue to fill those cracks in a little bit, and then we will get this finished up and going again. So the thin is really good just for getting down into the crack, so further in through, whereas the black is a little bit thicker and therefore will typically not penetrate quite as far as one would want for it. So that's why we start with the thin, and then we will do the thick beyond, or the medium beyond that. So the thin doesn't take long at all to dry, so that's a good thing. It's going to be good and dried. And that sanding sealer just keeps the glue from staining the wood at all. So that's why I like using the sanding sealer before I use the CA glue. Use this accelerator just to make sure it cures up pretty quick. And then we will use our Star Bond thick or sorry, medium thick black. And there is a link to the Starbond down below if you need any of it, but you can use the coupon code DD15 and you will get yourself 15% off of your order. So if you need some CA glue, this is the stuff to get. I love it. It works great, and I've never been disappointed with the finished product. Okay, so for part of this hollowing, now that I've got that glued up, I'm going to turn from the other side of my lathe. That way I can get a good cut cross angle, not have to reach back across. All right, we got that hollowed out, so now we're going to trim up the outside, get this glue cut back, and then we will begin sanding it and go from there. All right, we are back. We have that sanded up to 320 grit. So now we're going to get our denatured alcohol, pop that grain up just a little bit, get a glimpse of what it's going to look like, and then we'll knock that back. So I'm actually super happy with how this has turned out. I was able to glue that, the piece that came out right here, got that glued back in. Got the black CA from Starbond around it, which is really nice. Accentuates that piece just a little bit. That color difference is great. And then on the outside, which I'll show you here after a little bit, those look great as well with the black around them just a little bit to accentuate those. But this came together super well. Very, very happy with it and cannot wait to get the finish on this so we can get this wrapped up, because I'm really, really happy with this. So we'll get that sanded at 400 grit. As I'm feeling it, the grain raised just a little bit. It's not as smooth as it was. And what I might also do, but if I do, I'll do it off camera, is do another coat of sanding sealer and knock that back as well. But we shall see as we progress. All right, so we are back. I have that finished sanded. I got it laser engraved off camera because you all have seen that many, many times before. And we are going to use our Tung honey from Brad's workbench. Now, there is a big announcement today from Brad. Just got a text from him, and we are going to do a coupon code for the first time ever for the finishes from Brad at Brad's workbench. So if you will use, and I'm going to put it up right here, but if you go to his Etsy store and you put in coupon code DD10 in all caps, so like I said, I have it right up here. If you put that in there, you will get a 10% discount off of his finish. So that could be the Tung wax, the Tung honey, or the abrasive paste. So definitely go check that out. That's a good incentive, and that's a good way for you to get some a little bit cheaper and give that a try. So we want to make sure we have that available for you all to utilize and pass that along. So once again, DD10 is the coupon code to use for Brad's workbench finish. So we're just going to get this finish applied, let it set for about 24 hours, and then we will come back and wipe it down as needed, maybe apply a second coat if we need to. As you know, I absolutely love this finish. So the Tung honey and the Tung wax are my two favorite finishes. Just depends on what I'm doing. If I'm doing a live edge, then I will use the Tung honey, as that soaks in a little bit better than the Tung wax, and I typically like to buff that Tung wax off with a friction heat. So I can't really do that very well on live edge pieces. So that's why I prefer the Tung honey on these. But my pins, things like that, where I can buff that off my bowls, things like that, I definitely use the Tung wax because I can buff that off really, really well, and it's just absolutely beautiful. This goes on super smooth, spreads around really well, and just soaks into the wood, gives that nice matte finish that we look for, or that I look for. I prefer that in wood pieces. So this is my go-to finish. Leave your thoughts on it down below. What do you think? How do you think it looks? Do you think it looks nice? Do you prefer a glossy finish? What is your preference? Leave that in the comments down below. Let's have a conversation. Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that project where we took that weird walnut log that had the red cedar growing through it and turned that hollow form. So here is our finished piece. Just the way that red cedar goes through there is absolutely interesting to me. We got that piece there on the top that actually came out that we glued back in the other sides. And I don't know how well this is going to show up, but I'll put a picture up right here. But this picture is the inside of the bottom of the piece where that red cedar grows through it. So really interesting, just unfortunately probably doesn't show quite as well as I would like with the light looking as it does in the shop here. It is cold here in Kansas. Yesterday's high was 0 degrees. Today's high is 4 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're getting snow again. So yay, winter. At any rate, always inspired by Phil Anderson. So you know, kind of just looking to keep things as natural looking as possible. Keep that bark on there for that live edge, especially with the way that the red cedar wove itself through that walnut. Just really interesting the way nature does with things, what it does, how it does things, and what ends up coming of it. So I have never seen a piece like this turned. Maybe you have. If you have, put in the comments where you saw it turned, who did it, things like that, because I would love to see what else other people have come up with this type of scenario with nature's hybrid. But yeah, definitely leave your feedback down below. Any comments, thoughts, feedback you have, greatly appreciated because that helps me grow. If this is your first time here, please do consider subscribing. If you like the video, mash that old thumbs up. If not, mash that old thumbs down. But like I said, leave a comment down below so that I can get better. Just absolutely amazed at this, the beauty in this and how the two different woods contrast with each other. Well, that being said, we'll catch you all next time.